You know, I often find myself being obsessed with anime that emulates some of the darkest parts of humanity. Existential dread about the world of technology slowly making you obsolete? Amazing! Grappling with the implications of using racial minorities as cannon fodder in order to ethnically cleanse your society? Incredible! The awful progression of experiencing the pain and agony of death over and over and over?
Man, you better believe that show's an absolute banger.
At this point, I'm pretty sure that if they made a moe anime about some crazy national tragedy, it'd probably be a 10 out of 10 for me. So imagine my hype when I found out that there was an anime about a German child soldier committing war crimes during one of the world's most horrific events ever. World War?
Yes.
All wrapped up in an overpowered semi-vanilla isekai package which became so popular that it was later immortalized by the highly coveted and timeless anime classic Isekai Quartet. I'm really doing this, aren't I? However, despite being historically one of the most popular isekai anime ever made, unless you're a military buff, most people tend to let Youjo Senki fall into the infinite ether of forgotten shows that is the watch later list. But why is that? Why do so many people forget about this anime when talking about the greats of isekai? Now, before we get any further into this, I just know what you're gonna say. Excuse me, did you actually read the light novel, you fucking dolt? If you say no, then your opinions are now completely invalid because the light novel is leaps and bounds better than the anime ever will be. Now to that, my loyal viewer, I'd just like to say, thank you for your opinion. However, there is a very articulate and sophisticated reason as to why we're not talking about the light novel today. When it comes to the world of otaku culture, as good as the manga and light novels may be, it's just a simple fact that anime is going to be the medium that the most amount of people see with these sorts of IPs. So no matter how good the source material is, if the anime adaptation ends up not living up to expectations, the IP is overall damaged and has a much harder time recovering. And it's definitely not because I'm illiterate or anything.
Well, I can't read.
So, Youjo Senki has some pretty solid story foundations, especially when we're looking at it in relation to its isekai peers. Our main character, Tanya, actually wasn't your typical meat-beaten, waifu-worshipping, run-of-the-mill otaku degenerate.
Huh?
No, this man was ruthless. He was a cool, calculated, but cutthroat businessman looking to do nothing more than secure promotions for himself. He's the kind of guy that would not only push you off a cliff for a promotion, but would spend enough time to ensure that he never got caught doing it. So when he finally has his date with destiny, the literal god decides to step in and give him one more chance. And how exactly does this man respond? Am I dead? What the hell is going on right now?
Yes, my child. I have performed a miracle for you. Now all you must do is repent and you will be saved.
Oh, I got it. This is a prank. All right. Very funny, everybody. Where's the cameras?
I assure you, my son, this is no joke. All I ask of you is to believe in me, and you will be forgiven despite all of your previous transgressions.
Wait a second. So you're telling me
Yes.
that all of this is real?
Yes.
Really? And despite how horrible I've been, all I have to do now is believe in you, and I still go to heaven?
Yes, that is right, my child. Now bask in my glory so that you
Boy,
may
if you don't stop the cap right now, I'm gonna beat your ass. Now let me down.
All right, you're being reborn as a war crime victim.
Wait, what? Oh man, this sucks. I just want to go back. Holy crap, I'm a wizard. Wonder if I can get into Hogwarts now. Wait a second.
All right, you're being reborn as a war crime victim.
Well, I can't be a war crime victim if I'm the one committing the war crimes.
I forgot to disable cheats, didn't I?
Now, besides just the interesting take on the standard overpowered main character trope, the show just looks really damn cool. Despite being an isekai, therefore taking place in a different world fighting different wars than ourselves, it feels extremely grounded. Going as far as even having real-world small arms and artillery pieces, even if their presence isn't always super accurate. And when combined with the high-intensity action scenes and large battle set pieces, Youjo Senki by all means should be one of the most memorable isekai anime out there. So what the hell gives? Why is this anime so often forgotten about? Well, despite my better judgment, we're gonna have to address the elephant in the room. The one thing that's gonna keep me up at night thinking about my poor comment section. Is Youjo Senki actually good? Well, it's good, but it's not great. All right, look, Youjo Senki is an interesting case because for everything that it does really well, it does something else equally as fucking stupid. Like, despite the cool as hell premise, the mental gymnastics you have to do in order to quantify how the story unfolds would make a gold medal winning Olympian jealous. First of all, why the hell is Tanya a military genius? My girl was literally a human resources manager in her past life. And I don't know about you, but HR doesn't exactly scream Sun Tzu to me, so what gives? Where did that come from? And not to mention the fact that the definitely not German Empire not only recruited a literal 10-year-old, but then decided to promote said 10-year-old to higher and higher ranks. Now, I know that Germany isn't exactly a stranger to child soldiers, but they at least only did that when faced with certain defeat. Like, jeez, man, come on, have some standards. At least wait till your leader offs himself in a bunker first. Also, the side characters have tons of potential. I'd love to see an arc diving into Victoria's backstory or what her motivations for fighting are, but instead she's just kind of relegated to being a basic waifu-bait background character, merely there just to keep your collective... Oh, sorry, I got distracted there. To keep your collective monkey brains focused. Oh, yeah? Oh, and if you want some real egregious shit, look no further than the main villains, because every single conflict pretty much just boils down to... I have the power of God and anime on my side! Basically, every villain is only able to stand up to Tanya because they were just given an insta-buff from God because he saw that Tanya was becoming too powerful. So with no further training or hard work put in, they're just instantly able to give Tanya a run for her money. Also, I'm not sure if this one was intentional, but they quite literally named one of the main villains Mary Sue. Well, I guess it's like a wise man once said.
No matter how much I pretend it's true, self-awareness is not a get-out-of-autism-free card.
Also, as mentioned before, wouldn't an easier fix just not make Tanya super overpowered? I'm just saying that God has admin privileges and he can revoke her cheat codes at any time. Actually, I'm pretty sure at one point God even gives her a cheat prayer to make her even more powerful. So you can't exactly be surprised when Tanya's playing on creative mode. But I guess no matter how much influence God has on this world, he's still powerless to defeat his two main enemies, Tanya and the other, more dreaded, more fierce, more scary enemy, the production budget.
Oh god! They're getting attacked by bad CG!
Yeah, like a lot of mid-2010s anime, studio nuts take on Youjo Senki's visuals can sometimes leave a lot to be desired. Even the highest intensity battle or fight scenes just look kinda choppy, especially by today's standards, and don't even get me started on that CG. Okay, fine, I get it. Youjo Senki has its faults, but surely there's other reasons why Youjo Senki is forgotten, right? I mean, it's not exactly like Isekai is the top tier of anime content, so having a few shortcomings shouldn't be enough to banish it to the collective shadow realm of people's minds, right? Surely there must be more to it. Well, dear viewer, I have a theory. Now, none of this is confirmed or anything, but call it the hunch of somebody who's seen a lot of anime takes recently. You know, Isekai fans really know what they like. Most of the time, people who watch Isekai are totally content with consuming the same thing over and over again because it's really what resonates with them. There's a reason that some of the most commercially successful Isekai, and by extent anime over the course of the last 12 years or so, tend to have very similar aesthetics and premises. It's not just because it's uninspired garbage. It's because it's uninspired garbage that sells.
Trash.
Now, the anime in this genre that are more unique do tend to have some more staying power. But that said, isekai that are too unique tend to get left behind. It's not hard to see this either. Just take a look at the Isekai Quartet, for example. The most memorable and popular anime out of the four are Konosuba and Re:Zero, which are pretty much run-of-the-mill isekai complete with neat male protagonists surrounded by a cast of cute girls and a medieval-style RPG world. They just have like a more unique execution. Konosuba is a comedy-focused parody anime, whereas Re:Zero is a much more dark and serious take on the isekai format. Now, when you look at third place Overlord, you still have a lot of overlap. It still has a medieval RPG world, the cute girls in the cast, and a protagonist originating from a neat gamer. But the key difference here is the fact that Lord Ainz is not your typical MC-kun. He's like a 7-foot tall skeleton man, which makes the self-insert nature of Isekai a little bit harder to accomplish. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've never looked at Grim from Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and thought, yeah, I'd like to be him. And because of that, Overlord takes a little bit of a backseat, especially when compared to some of its peers. Now, when we take things back to Youjo Senki, you couldn't be any more different than the traditional execution of Isekai. I mean, Tanya was a pretty well-off businessman before being reincarnated, and after being reincarnated, she's just like a little girl for the entirety of the show. Also, the world is absolutely nothing like the traditional medieval RPG world we're used to seeing. It's more like Battlefield 1. And the main cast only has one single cute girl in it, and she has almost nothing to do with what Tanya is actually doing in any given episode. Hell, even Gate, which is another military isekai, has much more in common with the normal isekai setup than Youjo Senki does. Neat main protagonist? Check. Cast of cute girls? Check. Medieval RPG world?
Actually, it's supposed to be rolled, but
Check. And I think because of this, Youjo Senki ends up alienating quite a bit of the normal isekai fan base. And when combined with the fact that at least the anime adaptation's execution is kind of questionable, and when you're trying to compete in a genre that pretty much turns every other anime fan off, what you're left with is an anime that is likely to be forgotten despite the fact that it has one of the coolest aesthetics and premises out there. But hey, maybe season 2 will be better. Now can I please go home?